What's up, guys? Welcome to the African Fighters. Today we'll be having a special guest. He is featherweight contender at Cage Warriors. He is 4-1 record, two wins by KO, one win by submission. He is no other than the guy with the highlight reel, the knockout of the year contender, Manny Akpan. Welcome to the
Uh,
program, Manny.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
How's it going? And how was the camp
Uh,
preparing for this fight against Samuel Bach?
Really good, really good. It's been a long camp. It's a lot of preparation. During the whole thing, like I think maybe 6 weeks out, and my original opponents pulled out.
Okay.
Um, and Kate already said, yeah, we're looking for a replacement. So like more or less, well, most of the camp, I've not really had an opponent.
Okay.
So yeah, over this past the only 10 days notice they gave me this opponent
Yeah.
like Samuel. One of his opponents, well, his opponent pulled out
Pulled
also,
out
so
again.
they just rejigged and sorted everything out, and we've got an even better matchup, even more exciting matchup, and a better matchup for both of us really.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'll take this a little bit backward just to get to know you better. I'm going to ask you about your Nigerian heritage, your roots, and tell us a little bit about your connection with Nigeria. Have you been to Nigeria before? And also your parents and also their influence in you fighting, becoming a professional fighter. So how was it? We know African parents, no, don't go into fighting, but how was it for you?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Nigeria means a lot to me, really. Yeah, both of my parents are Nigerian. They came here a long time ago. I think in the early 80s now. Yeah, so growing up, I haven't been a lot to Nigeria, but I've been a few times. I hold a Nigerian passport. I've visited quite a few times. It's just it means a lot. It means a lot. It's everything. It's my culture. It's the way I was raised. It's the people I've been around, whether that's family, friends, the music that I like, the things that I like to watch on TV. It means a lot. It's a big thing, and it's a big part of my life. It's a big part of who I am. It's an integral part of who I am, really. Um, yeah, fighting. It's not something that is actively really encouraged by my parents. Obviously, as like I was speaking to yourself before, Nigerian parents they really love the whole education thing. They really love like
Yes.
really study, stay in your books and all that stuff. And really, it was starting off in MMA. It was just an outlet, really. I did all that. I studied. I took that very seriously in school, in university, all those things. I took that very seriously. But it was just always an outlet for me to train, do that mixed martial arts because it was something I just seen on the TV and just loved to do.
Yes. Okay. So can you just talk us through your amateur career briefly? Um, but
Yeah, yeah.
before that, what did you study at school? You mentioned university as well. So most people actually
Um.
perceive MMA fighters as maybe uneducated or just they think
Oh.
an alternative to just make a living. So they don't actually see most MMA fighters as educated. Some of them actually hold master degrees and bachelors. So I'd like to talk
Uh-huh.
about that as well, so that the fans can know that these guys are also
Yeah,
educated.
yeah. Yeah. I studied a bachelor's in science in economics. So that was quite a tough subject. It's a lot of maths, a lot of equations, all that type of stuff. Like I'm sure that you're familiar with. So yeah, it was it's something that you've got to take seriously if you're Nigerian. If you're
Yes.
African, like you've got to really take your studies seriously. You've
Yes.
got to do all those things because yeah, it's just an important. It's just part of our culture, really. Yeah, definitely.
Good to know economics. That means you're piling up the 50K bonuses for the future businesses.
Yeah.
So, can you talk to us about your amateur career briefly? I've gone through your record, your kind of do some little research. You fought at the UK MMAF, which is the amateur route. So, how was it for you going through the ranks,
Yeah,
amateur fighting
it
days?
was really it was just a big learning experience. I trained quite a long time, maybe not too seriously training, but training, once, twice a week for a long time, before I even jumped into competing on amateur level. It's just a big experience, just a big experience, like time, fighting a lot of different opponents, taking fights on short notice, taking fights on a lot of notice, taking fights where you'd fight multiple times in a day or over a series of days. It was just something that I just really wanted to get the feel of what it is. Like, you can train for a long time, but then when you actually get in there, you want to like feel what it's like. You want to understand what it is to actually be in there, like what it's, even though it's what you see on television, actually being in there may be a slight different thing, or it might feel a lot different to where you understand and you appreciate the skills and the attributes that like a lot of the idols that you're watching on the television have.
Yes. So now let me just move straight to your last performance in April, the highlight reel, the contender of the year, knockout of the year contender. So that was against Connor Hitchen, I believe, Cage Warriors 136. And you got the second round knockout via a spinning wheel kick. So can you walk us through that process? Was it something you were planning, you set up, or just came accidentally? And how was the feeling for you?
It's a style. It's a style I've always, like, I don't know. I've always got the, like, just me personally. I'm someone, like, we're Nigerians, and we like a lot of flashiness. We like a lot of being extra. You know, anything that we do is very extra. It's very showy. It's very flashy, and that's just something. Ever since I've started MMA, I've always been cognizant of the aesthetics. Got to look good. Like, you've got to be flashy. You've got to really make statements when you do this thing, because you want people to remember you. Want people to be excited to see you again. You want people to really enjoy the experience as well. You want people to come. Like, when you hear mixed martial arts, you think, oh, you're going to see people doing spinning kicks. You're going to see people, doing all these crazy different things. So it's just something. If I've developed the skill to be able to do that, I'm going to be able to do it. It's something, those type of kicks, those type of big flashy moves. It's something I drill. I practice a lot.
Okay.
And he just started in that fight. He just moved in a certain way, because that's a kick that I've thrown a lot. Like, in my amateur, I've thrown it a lot, but I've not really set it up. And then in that fight, I said to myself, like, before I went out, I said, only throw it once he gives you that right feed. And he moved in the right way for me to throw it. So I just thought, let me just throw it, and it landed. And it was it's perfect. It's perfect timing, perfect everything. So
and also the celebration with the fans was awesome to see. And sorry, you want to say something?
It was a tough fight. That opponent, I've seen, even in my amateur career, I was more or less competing alongside him. During my amateur career, I've seen him take a lot of fights in the amateurs as well. So I knew a lot about him. I knew he was very skilled, a very tough opponent. And it was a very tough fight. So it was even better getting the knockout in that fight.
That's one. And also seeing you going viral on ESPN, MMA, all the media platform headline was all about you, Manny Akpan. So even Nigerian newspaper, they were seeing the headline Nigerian, then they all started claiming Manny Akpan to be Nigerian at that moment. Nigerian with the wonderful knockout. So how was that feeling for you, seeing the headline next morning? You're all over the papers.
It's great. It's what you do it for, really, isn't it? Like, there's so many fights that go on, so many fighters that come out. There's so many, fights every week. Like, if you're memorable in some certain way, whether that be the way that you talk, the way that you look, the style that you fight, that's just what we all do it for, really. Just that recognition, that being able to be seen.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to touch on also another thing, which is your only defeat against Kia Harvey, and that's the name. You lost the fight via submission, triangle choke. So what was the learning? What was the takeaway from the fight for you? And
really, it was more just learning to not try to rush things too much in the cage. I feel I was trying to rush things a little too much, But it's not. It's Cage Warriors. It's the highest level of mixed martial arts outside of the UFC and within Europe. So
Yes.
it's not. I wouldn't sit here and say, in that fight I was injured, or in that fight I was going through stuff mentally.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm not a person to make excuses. It was a fight I lost, and there's things I could work on there. There's things I could have done better in there, but I didn't. So it was a learning experience, just something to take away of. Don't try to rush things too much. Like, actually take your time in there. It's not. You don't have to finish someone or get somebody out there within 10, 30, 10, 20 seconds. Like, you've got a whole 15 minutes to work.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So now you're fighting the new opponent, Samuel Buck. Is 5-1. From Sweden, has also fought abroad, fought in FCR in Sweden, also fought in UAE Warriors. And this is going to be his second fight in Cage Warriors. So how do you rate the opponent? I know it's a short notice fight. So what do you know about your opponent, and what is the plan? And are we expecting another highlight this Saturday, November 12th?
Yeah, I feel it's going to be a very, very exciting fight. What I know of him is he's more of, well, he's traditionally trained as a kickboxer, like a Muay Thai fighter. So he's got knees, elbows, kicks, punches. He's very proficient in those areas. But I just feel I'm going to be able to mix it up a little bit too much for him and be a bit too different to what he's really used to.
Okay.
And it's going to be mostly taking part on the feet. But yeah, it's going to be an exciting matchup. He comes to finish fights, and I come to finish fights. So it's going to definitely be an exciting fight for the fans.
Awesome. We'll look forward to the fight, and also wish you victory and maybe another highlight reel as well. Well, another question I'd like to ask, I don't know if you have that kind of vision. Are you planning to top the previous highlight reel, because it's something that will stay there forever? The previous
Yeah, I think it's to try and chase something that may not be there. I feel that's not the best way to go about it. I feel whatever my opponent gives me, as soon as he gives me the opportunity, I'm going to take it. So I'm not actively trying to top what happened the previous time, but it might be even better this time. So you're just going to have to watch and find out. I don't know what's going to happen, so we'll just have to see what happens on the night.
Okay, awesome. So now to the future. Hopefully you win on Saturday. We believe you. We pray you win. We're supporting you, the African fighters, obviously. What is the plan for you? Are you looking at fighting for the title, featherweight title in Cage Warriors? What is the position in the promotion, in the division? Or are you looking at moving up? Because I know a lot of promotion are going to be looking at you, watching your next fight from the last fight in April. They'll be putting eye on your fight this time around. So what is the aim?
Yeah, I think that's the key thing for me, really, just to really concentrate on just putting on big, exciting performances. Everything else outside of that, whether that's titles, whether that's bigger promotions, anything that comes, that all comes off the back of big promotion, of big performances. So I'm not really concentrating on anything in terms of next steps. It's just focusing on having a big, exciting performance that a lot of people see, and everything else will build off that.
Okay, John. Thank you. I'm going to ask some few questions, just kind of little. I'll not take much of your time. I know you're in a hurry. I know this is fight week, preparing and all that, but maybe just some few more questions and then we'll move. I would like to get your take on UFC 281 at this time versus Alex Pereira. We've seen the video, all the fight week build up. So how do you see that fight playing? Your prediction?
I feel Israel is gonna be able to win. It's a very tough fight for him, because I think all his other fights he's been able to know, I'm the sharper striker, I'm the better kickboxer. But going into this fight, he doesn't have that level of confidence going into the fight, just having the two losses to him to Pereira in kickboxing. But I feel he's been under the pressure a lot more. He's fought the 5 rounds. He's been under the pressure in a mixed martial arts cage a lot more. I think he's going to be able to pull it out because it's a completely different sport. It's not kickboxing, so I feel Israel's going to be able to take the victory.
The decision or knockout?
I feel that's the thing. I feel if he mixes it up, if he mixes it up, like I think we're going to see if we see a lot of clinch work and some takedowns. I feel he's going to knock him out. If it stays on the feet, I feel yeah, it will just be a decision win.
Okay. So I'm going to ask some few more questions with regards to Nigeria and also just general question, just to get to know you more, the fans to get to know you more. So can you tell us more about your favorite food, your favorite African or Nigerian dish?
Oh, my favorite dish. My favorite dish is the pepper soup. That's my favorite dish. Yeah, or pepper soup or egusi.
Okay.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So do you also like pounded yam as well? Because egusi sometimes go with pounded yam, or no, really?
Not really. My mum usually makes just gram rice or gari pounded yam.
Okay.
She doesn't cook that too often. Maybe that's just because that's what my dad likes. But yeah.
Yes. Okay. And also your favorite Nigerian musician?
My favorite Nigerian musician right now. Right now, Ben.
Is it Wizkid?
I like it. It's Wizkid. It's Wizkid.
Wizkid.
I think they're just all they're on the same level. Wizkid, Burna Boy, Davido. I like all of them.
Okay, awesome. Your favorite fighter, MMA fighter?
My favorite MMA fighter. My favorite MMA fighter, I'd say Anderson Silva, just because when I was really getting into MMA, he was just on his streak of knockouts, and I think that's just I've not really seen anybody really do that since him, so I'd say probably him.
Okay. Someone you look up to in life, that has been inspirational to you.
What do you look up to as an inspiration? It wouldn't really be famous people. It would more be like, I'd be naming like an engineer from the US or like an engineer from it's not really famous people now. It's more people I know, like their background, their story and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. A city you would love to visit?
So many. I've never actually been to Lagos before. I'd actually like to visit Lagos because I used to fly into Port Harcourt because that's closer to where my parents are from. So I've never actually been to Lagos, and the Lekki Islands as well. I'd like to visit there also. So yeah, probably those two places.
Okay, and also Lagos are putting big event. I don't know if you know of the AKO African Knockout. Also co-owned by Amaru Osman. They have a fight event in December 29th. In Lagos. So they have some. December is very, very fun in Lagos. It's a very, very people go back for holiday and all that. So,
yeah. All the diaspora return. I think it was a girl from Chi. I think she fought on that show along. It was like some time ago. Yeah, she said
she did well.
It was quite a good. Yeah, she said it was a good experience fighting on the show. So it would be quite an experience to fight something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Or to attend the event, it would be nice to have you. Or even fight on the show. It would be great to have you. Are you planning on fighting in Africa, or just you don't have that at the moment, or you're open to anything?
I would like to. I would like to. Yeah, I would definitely like to. Like one time in my pro career, at least. Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome. Champ, that's all I have. I'm trying to pick some more questions, but they are not coming. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you victory on Saturday, November 12th, Cage Warriors 146. Manny Akpan versus Samuel Bach, featherweight bout. You don't want to miss that fight. So tune in on UFC Fight Pass. I believe it's going to be on Fight Pass as well, and also some other channel in the UK. Champ, thank you for your time. I really appreciate you, and I will hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thank you for having me.